Hi Crafty friend, it's Justine. I am so excited because I am going to show you today the Sentimental Mosaic BetterPress plate of the month. This is for November 2023. It comes with this huge plate and 3 sentiments, and they are right here, and then it says it works with S4 1280, so that's a little circle die. I went ahead and used the circle that is from the Postal Edge Reflections, and it just gives a little design around there, so that's what I ended up using. But you could also use any other shape that would fit this kind of size. So let's go ahead and just to start better pressing, I'm going to go ahead and do the backgrounds for 2 cards and then show you 3 projects afterwards. So for my BetterPress, here it is in all of its glory. Mine is a little bit dirty because I use mine all the time. The ink is archival, so it does stain a little bit. You can always use this archival ink cleaner, but it doesn't take out everything, just being real with you. And I don't love the texture of this, but that's just me. Anyway, it gets the job done for the most part. So you can see, yeah, it's loved. So to BetterPress, you'll need your BetterPress plate, your BetterPress system, and then a die cutting machine to run it through. I have this Spellbinders Platinum. This is the 8.5 inch one, so it is Mambo. That's why you only see part of it on the screen here. Then to put it on, this is a magnetic base, so this plate's gonna stick on. I'm going to position it just a little bit higher than the A2 line and go right about here. This plate is a little bit larger than an A2 sized paper. Here is an A2 black piece of paper. You can see it's just a little bit bigger. Okay, wow, now that's sticking a little. The BetterPress plates have this kind of odd texture that's kind of like soft, but it does have like a cling to it. And I'm pretty sure that's for the ink to stay, but I could be wrong. All right, I'm using this little piece that I have inked up already. This was some picked raspberry in the center, and then some Blueprint Sketch color oxide ink, or oxide, Distress Oxide. So that's going to go right about here. So I just kind of need to eyeball my placement before I put ink on. So because this is a full panel press plate, I don't want tape in the corners or anything. So what I'm going to do is position it kind of like this right on my press plate before I ink. I'm going to leave my 2 little pieces of tape there because they're not going to hurt anything. Anyway, I'm going to then take a little piece of tape, just enough for it to stick onto the card, onto here. So I'm actually just going to cut this down because I just want it teeny tiny, because I don't want to interfere with the pattern of the plate. But this gives me a full panel look. So it's just teeny tiny. And I'm going to put it in the center because I'm using this little sentiment. So if it doesn't press perfectly in the center, it's fine because we're going to cover it up. Okay, so then I'll take my top part and then I'm going to line up the BetterPress with the BetterPress. I've heard that that's a thing. I don't know if it really makes that big of a difference. Anyway, I'm just going to press that little piece of tape on. Is it enough to hold? Let's see. Yes, it is. Okay, so now that's positioned. Okay, interesting. Okay, and then I'm going to use my black ink. So for some of my other projects I'm going to show you at the end here, I did not just use black. I kind of went out of the box with my ink choices, so I have to stick around to see that. But I have re-inked my black, I think twice now, because I do BetterPress probably once a week, if not more. If I'm filming a whole bunch of videos, it's definitely more. But it is such a fun activity to do, and I just really enjoy this system as a whole. So to get the ink on, I'm kind of pressing, and pounce and press, I think, is kind of what they say, and just getting the ink kind of all over. And I'm going to hope for the best that it's covered up enough. Alrighty. I think I say some words so much. Alrighty is one. Now you have it. Anyway, here it is. It's going into my platinum, and I'm just going to run it through one time, and I will not go back and forth. So you're going to see it go this way, and then I will bring it onto the camera here because it's just going to go through my platinum one time. So we're rolling it through, and I'll take it out, bring it back to my spot, and let's see how it turned out. Stunning, of course it is. Wow, look at that. I just love the result of that. And the ink is going to dry rather soon. It is a quick drying ink, so I'm just going to set this off to the side for now. That little piece of tape was enough for me to get this paper to stick to this top piece, but it also did not really affect the center, if you can see. So that's pretty exciting to note for the future, in case I don't want to cover up the middle. Okay, and now I have another piece that's similar, but it is a rainbow. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just kind of wipe down my plate. I have a microfiber towel, nothing fancy. And since I am going to use black again, I don't feel the need to go crazy and use my actual cleaner for this in between press plates, in between presses. Not very much came off, which tells me I didn't use too much ink. That's always a good sign. Okay, I'm going to center this right in the middle, and I'm going to use that same tiny piece of tape again and press it on, and then give it one more little oomph. A tiny bit of ink did transfer, but it's not a big deal. And then let's ink up this one again. Now, if you didn't know, the BetterPress plates can be glimmered with the Glimmer Hot Foil machine. It's amazing, and I cannot wait to glimmer this one. I do not have time today to go ahead and do that, but I will be glimmering this probably in the next couple days, and then I will post those results on my Facebook groups and on Instagram. So if you're a Facebook person, you can go to the Spellbinders Maker Group or the BetterPress Babes. And if you are more toward Instagram, you can go ahead and check out my Instagram is Stationery by Justine, and you can see all the pretty products, and I will put on my foil pieces there soon. All right, we got that all set, and let's run it through again. This is so easy and fast. I just really enjoy this process, and the results are so amazing that it just really gives a wow look to the cards. Okay, unbelievable. Look at that. That is so pretty. I love the red tones down here with the yellow and the black, but the cool tones are also just so gorgeous. So I think I'm going to have to go ahead and get some more ink blended backgrounds ready to go for some more of these because they are so cool, and these would make really nice quick cards that are not too complicated, but they definitely look pretty. All right, let's clean up my little plate here before we move along and use the little shovel, which I love using for glue, but just grab the corner like this and it will lift up. So that is my go-to method for taking this off. I wouldn't really recommend using the pointy end just because it might pierce this, but you know, to each their own. All right, I'm gonna set that there. I do have a little bit of new ink here that I do want to focus on with my little cleaner. Not all of it's coming off. Just telling you, it's not gonna be perfect and clean and tidy. So don't expect your system to look pristine. All right, so there is a little bit cleaner for you, but again, it's going to be discolored, but it's going to make amazing stuff, so it does not matter. As you can see, mine is just fine. Anyway, for storage, I set that on top, and then I set it on a shelf where nothing is pressing on top of this So it is ready to go for my next BetterPress project. Now for cleaning off my plate, I like to use my towel. This one is fresh and new to my craft room. Ay. The ink that you will have towel. I put it on my towel. I usually do this on my leg with my towel on my leg, and I do it off to the side, but I will do it on camera for you and spare you the vision of my super pale thigh. Okay, just gonna rub this all over the press plate like so, and it does become super dark because that ink is now moving around with that cleaner, so it looks a little crazy but it's gonna be fine. Okay, and then I take my cloth and I just rub away any of the excess. It's gonna get lighter again, and the towel is going to be super dirty. The texture of this cleaner is so oily and just kind of ugh, but it's worth it because I love BetterPressing. I've heard that there's another cleaning product out there. I haven't tried it yet, but I guess I'm just kind of one of those people that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So right now I have a bottle of this, so I'm just gonna try that. Okay, well, like I said, I do want to glimmer with this. So I do want to make sure it's nice and clean. This ink is waterproof, if you can see there. It's the permanent ink, and I did clean it with this cleaner. Now this is kind of oily and weird, as we said, so I'm going to go ahead and use just a water sprayer and just give this a little spray to get some of that product off. And it really won't help with like the ink at all, but it will get some of that cleaner off, so my foil will be able to have a nice clean surface. Alrighty, I think that's as good as it's gonna get. I think that was like the 5th already for this video, so if you're counting, there you go. There you have it. Another phrase I use way too much. So there you go. So here is the clean plate. The back is a little discolored as well, but it makes amazing stuff, so it doesn't even matter. Here's my lovely towel. We'll set that aside and let's get to the assembly of my 2 cards. Just gonna put my platinum up so it's not so bulky as I work here. These little sentiments are so sweet. I ended up doing a few extra sentiments just to have in my sentiment area. If you know me, you know that I like to have a little sentiment stash, so it's just really handy to have on hand. I'm going to cut my little card bases down just a hair, and it will be all set. It's a little more than a hair, but maybe a moose hair. Speaking of moose, I think this is why I said moose, but the area Facebook community group that, like around where I live, I just saw that someone posted that they saw a moose walking through a cornfield. And I mean, I do live in like central north Minnesota where, yeah, there's moose, but they're not just like walking around cornfields normally, so that was weird. I don't know. Maybe I'll see a moose one day in the wild. So far, it has not happened. I did see elk when we were driving in Colorado and Arizona. There was elk kind of everywhere. That was probably the scariest driving experience of my entire life. Was driving down into the Phoenix Valley, down this huge hill. Felt like we were on a mountain, and it was raining. It had not rained in like 100 and some days, so the land was just dry as a bone. Water was running everywhere. There was a semi. It was so dangerous. And then I look out on the shoulder and there's just elk chilling, and I just thought to myself, you elk better stay right there in the forest. Otherwise, if you run out here, you're gonna die. We're gonna die. It's just gonna be not a pretty process. So yeah, it was a little wild, but we made it. We're here. And it was definitely worth it, spending time with family down in Phoenix for the summertime. My goodness, that was just traumatic. Okay, now I have my little backgrounds here, and I will just glue down my sentiments. We're going to use some liquid glue, and we will just move right along. Oh, I can't wait to show you my other cards. I do really like the way that each one turned out for different reasons. They're just kind of fun and unique. By the way, this ink dries quickly, so you saw me make it, and it's not transferring it to my fingers, and that was just minutes ago. Just so you have that little nugget of information. Here's my hello there sentiment. I'm gonna go right in the middle. That is so fun and so cheerful. I love doing like the rainbow and the cool tones. It's just my thing. All right, I'm gonna keep my glue upside down just to keep it so it doesn't clog. Let's show you the rest of my cards. This first one was fun to do a black and white kind of take on this press plate, and then I did pull in the 3D embossing folder for this month. Isn't that pretty? I do love this one, and I think it would be kind of fun to give someone a card who likes to color and just give them the black and white, and then they could color their own card front. I don't know, that would just be kind of fun. So here's my next one, Cool Tone City. I used the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils to do this one, and I did not add any water to it yet, but who knows, I might go ahead and take my paintbrush and add a little bit of water. I am going to do a little tutorial, if you will, on those watercolor pencils later this month, so if you're interested, subscribe and stick around to see that one. Oh, I should mention the ink color I used. For this one, I used, I think it's called Hydrangea. Yes, Hydrangea for this one. And then for this last card here, isn't that so pretty? I used two pinky colors. I'll grab my other box. I used the mulberry on the outside, and then on the center I used wild berry, which is very pink, and if you can tell, I like pink. So it was fun to play around with some different colors, but these boxes are super handy for ink storage. I have two blacks. When I got my system, a black and a pink came with it, so I have a little extras of those. But these trays, these containers are so nice. They're from Ranger. If you're wondering, I will try to link those in the description if I can remember, but they are super helpful for ink storage, and then just to keep my inks nice and juicy, I do store these containers upside down, because then the ink is coming to the top of the pad and not sinking down into the ink pad. So storage facing down, and they'll be ready for my next crafty time. Anyway, let me know which one is your favorite in the comments, and stay tuned online for some glimmered cards with this press plate. Before you leave, make sure you hit the like button if this video has been helpful or you've liked it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye, BetterPress.